Y'all ready? All right. Good morning. My name is David Campbell. I'm an attorney with the law firm of O'Hanlon, Demarath, and Castillo. I'm pleased to be one of the attorneys who's representing a number of school districts from across the state in a lawsuit that's been filed against the Commissioner of Education regarding the 2022-2023 performance ratings. In this lawsuit, over 100 school districts from across the state, many of whom have representatives standing here behind me, have filed the lawsuit because they feel, and rightly so, that the Commissioner has not followed Texas law regarding the 2022-2023 performance ratings. All of the school districts in this lawsuit believe in an accountability system that is fair, transparent, and complies with the law. Yesterday, we received news that as a result of a temporary injunction hearing earlier this month, the Commissioner has been enjoined from assigning performance ratings for the 2022-2023 school year. We are pleased with the court's ruling. We're not surprised given the evidence at the hearing, and we hope that this will lead the Commissioner to rethink his plans and to look at the accountability system, and we hope that there can be a future dialogue with the Commissioner about the accountability system and making it fair, transparent, and make sure that it complies with Texas state law, especially given the fact that for this school year, we're still waiting to find out what the Commissioner will do for 2023-2024. So we're pleased with the judge's order yesterday, and let me let you hear from some of the superintendents who are here with me from some of the school districts involved in this lawsuit.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bobby Ott, and I am the proud superintendent for the Temple Independent School District. As mentioned earlier, we are very pleased with yesterday's injunction and court ruling. However, what I would say is it needs to be treated as it is. This is not a final victory lap by any stretch. It's really the initial step in a long process with the ultimate goal of being accountability reform. And I also want to be clear that public schools want accountability. That's very important. I know that some people will spin this in saying that we do not want accountability. Not having accountability does nobody any good. That is something that we embrace. But with that, true accountability has three ingredients, and those are the three ingredients that we are hoping for. One is timeliness, two is transparency, and three is accuracy. And I will talk about those. The purpose of an accountability system is not for children. It is for adults. The purpose is to inform the community and the public, which is why those three ingredients are essential. So in talking about those three ingredients, the first, timeliness. Timeliness is not defined by releasing results 4 to 5 months after the assessment is taken. That is not timeliness. At that point in time, parents and community members are more concerned with what is going on right now. We are 11 weeks into the school year. Parents are wanting to know that their children are safe, they have experiences and opportunities, and they are learning in their current grade level, much less having a concern about how they performed 5 months ago. The next piece is transparency. Transparency is not defined with a ready, fire, aim mentality. That is applying standards that are, or cut scores that are developed after students take the assessment. It is more ready, aim, fire. If you have the standards out in front early, or the cut scores, you may actually be able to benefit students with an accountability system because teachers and parents can partner in working toward the cut scores and the accountability results that are desired. And the last piece is accuracy. Accuracy is fairness and consistency when telling the story of public schools. There are places where the accountability system falls short. For example, grades 3 through 8, there's one metric, test. We all know that schools encompass far more than a single test. But also, it has to be accurate. And I will use our school district as an example. Out of 23 indicators, we improved in 19. But the projected campus A through F ratings that were given to us suggest otherwise. they suggest that we had many schools that did not improve when they in fact did. So that is not consistent and accurate when reporting to the public. And the last thing that I would like to respond to is the statement that was released by the Texas Education Agency yesterday. And there are two pieces that I would like to respond to in that. The first is any claims that what was done is legal is negligent. Because if you look at the ruling yesterday, that tells you that it was illegal. The second piece is any claims that parents or community members really look at the A through F system and performance data as meaningful is also false. Because I can tell you this is a system that is long overdue for accountability reform. Because of those three things in the current conditions, that is why this system needs overhaul and is not looked at as a credible system and one that parents and community members gravitate towards. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Sissy Reynolds Pettis, and I am the proud superintendent of Keensville ISD. We were the first to initiate this lawsuit. I really appreciate all of the school districts who joined in, and I also understand that not every district is in a position where they could join in. This was a very terrifying step to take, and so like I said, not every district can do this. I am thankful to my board for supporting me in taking this step. And it is about the students. Let's not forget that. This is about the students and about our teachers. This system that was being rolled out was going to paint a false narrative about schools and districts. Even though they were improving, because of the changes in the scores during the game, that was going to make schools and districts show that they were declining when in fact they were not. That is not fair to our students and to our teachers. Keensville ISD has been in that situation a few years ago when they in fact did receive a failing grade. And we have made significant improvements over the past few years to make sure that was not going to occur again. However, when I arrived in Keensville, one of the charges I had was, please do not ever let us go back to an F, because that has significant economic impact. Businesses think twice about coming to a district where they're showing a failing or declining school district. If these ratings would have come out, they would have shown a false narrative about failing and declining school districts. And it's very difficult for us to explain that to the general public who are not involved in all of the weeds of the education system. After being in education for over 35 years, we have never seen this occurring in our accountability and assessment system. So part of the reason it was very difficult to question it is because we have been so ingrained in just accepting what has been rolled out to us. Once we saw that there were some things that just did not look right, I asked our attorneys to please check to see if this was actually lawful. We knew it was unfair, and we knew some things were not being transparent, but I wanted to find out if things were in fact unlawful. So in fact, the O'Hanlon group did. They found that there were several statutes that were being violated. One of them being the validity of the test. How were they testing the STAR test to find out if it was valid? Also, the timeline in which things were being rolled out, the standards, the way in which the test items were going to be analyzed and used for the grading system. Many of those things, it's very easy to be able to discern once you read the petition. I encourage everybody, do your homework, read the petition, and you will be able to clearly see that there were some laws that were violated. This is not something we take lightly. We do believe in accountability, but we also believe that the system who is holding us accountable should be held accountable as well. Thank you so much.
Sorry to cut you off. Lost battery.
Did it record?
Yeah, I got most of it. I just have to change the remainder. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
Do that.
Good morning. My name is Annette Talley, and I am proud to represent Del Valle Independent School District. on behalf of my Board of Trustees and community, I want to thank the judge, and we're very proud that the judge has ruled in the district's favor. This is a historic moment. It is the first time that districts across the state of Texas have come together. Whether this is a large district, a small district, an urban district, a suburban district, a rural district or a non-rural district, a conservative district or a liberal district, over 100 districts across the state of Texas came together because we wanted to fight on behalf of the students in public education here in Texas. We know what our students can do, and we know what our students have demonstrated that they have done. However, the accountability system that has been rolled out this school year did not demonstrate the successes and achievements of our students across this great state of Texas. Public education is not failing, although the narrative would have shown differently had we not allowed for the attorneys to be able to represent us and show that the accountability system was unfairly and illegally representing school districts. Across the state of Texas, our students have worked extremely hard. And while we know that our students are more than a letter grade, we also know that communities and businesses and industries and families choose the community that they are going to live in based on the letter grade of that district or campus. And while we, as educators, worked very hard to improve that letter rating, we were very concerned that that letter rating was not going to represent our districts. So as we move forward, we're very proud of where the judge landed and how they have decided in our favor. But as my peers and colleagues have said, we need to continue to unite, and we need to continue to stand together, because this is just the beginning, and we want to make sure that the narrative is clear across the state, and we want to be sure that our parents understand. Our students are being misrepresented more in districts that have a large number of economically disadvantaged students. Statisticians have shown that districts have a higher number of low economically disadvantaged students are disproportionately represented by low letter grades with the given accountability system. And in a state where we're striving to make the successes of all children notable, this is not the kind of accountability system that we want to demonstrate the successes of our students. So as we as educators are preparing for the next school year, we want to use an accountability system and a state test that allows us to be diagnostic, to look at where students are and to look at where students need to be by setting accurate goals. Well, when the goalpost moved this year, that wasn't something that we were able to measure, because what we had planned for was no longer how we were going to be measured. And as we move forward, what we want as educators is to be able to know what the goals are of our students so that our teachers and students can strive for those goals. Again, we are not against accountability, and we believe in accountability. We believe in high rigor, and we believe in high standards. And we believe and know that our students can reach those high standards. But we do need to know where that goalpost is so that we can strive to reach it without it being moved every time we make successes. So thank you, and thank you for believing in Texas public education.
Good morning. My name is Tiffany Hewitt, and I'm the Chief of Schools in Dallas Independent School District. I'm here to share a few remarks on behalf of our Superintendent, Dr. Stephanie Elizalde, who could not be here today. This ruling is a byproduct of what the power of unity and the power of voice does to stand up for children in the state of Texas. Dallas ISD joined our colleagues across the state because we believe TEA in this instance did not get it right for all students. Granting the injunction will allow the judge to hear why it's only in the best interest of students and districts to clearly receive how they would be measured in advance and not the other way around. Make no mistake about it. We all believe in accountability and in rigor, and we also believe that we should not retroactively hold districts accountable for standards that have not been previously announced. That's simply not right. It undermines the work of our students and our teachers in Dallas ISD and around the state of Texas. And it also undermines the work that they've worked so hard to achieve. This announcement, though, is not a victory, but is definitely a pathway to victory. Thank you.
We will be presenting this message in Spanish as well for our bilingual learners. And so I'm going to introduce San Elizario ISD Superintendent, Dr. Jeannie Mesa Chavez. Again, on behalf of 1.9 million students that are represented out of the 119 or 120 school districts that joined the lawsuit. This also includes everybody statewide who has been cheering us on and supporting this effort, because we want to make sure that everybody understands we believe in being held accountable, but we also believe that the system that we're under should be held accountable. Thank you.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Jeannie Mesa Chavez y soy la superintendente de San Elizario. I'm Jeannie Mesa Chavez and I'm the superintendent from San Elizario. El comisionado Morath y TEA hicieron que todas las escuelas de Texas comenzaran su respectivo año escolar sin que se les emitiera las calificaciones A a F. A pesar de la indiferencia del comisionado y de TEA y de la falta de proporcionar esta información, los empleados de las escuelas públicas de Texas, específicamente nuestros maestros, comenzaron desde el primer día enfocados a mejorar las vidas de los alumnos. Nuestros maestros han estado concentrados al 100% y han tomado medidas desde que comenzaron las clases, y para algunos de nosotros las clases empezaron a los finales de julio. Aunque el comisionado Morath se refiere a nosotros como el 10%, actualmente somos 1.9 millones de alumnos que representan todos los distritos que entraron a esta demanda. Estamos aquí apoyando al 100% la contabilidad y la responsabilidad del 100% de las escuelas. Queremos que se responsabilice el comisionado Morath por no haber notificado apropiadamente a nuestros maestros, estudiantes y comunidades de que la organización TEA, de la cual es responsable de supervisar el sistema escolar de Texas, habían cambiado las reglas de contabilidad después de que nuestros estudiantes tomaron el examen, en lugar de proporcionarnos esa información, ya que la ley exige un aviso previo y adecuado de los estándares según los cuales nuestras escuelas serán calificadas. Nuestros maestros, estudiantes y comunidades merecen ser respetados. Permítanme repetirlo y ser clara. Estamos a favor de la contabilidad escolar. Millones de nuestros niños de las escuelas de Texas han tenido maestros, educadores del distrito y empleados que han tomado medidas y han educado a millones de estudiantes a pesar de las acciones del comisionado Morath y TEA con respecto a las calificaciones escolares. Millones de padres y educadores no esperaron brindarles a nuestros estudiantes el apoyo y los servicios educativos necesarios. Comisionado Morath, no hemos estado esperando que usted o TEA publiquen las calificaciones escolares. Todos llevamos trabajando desde el primer día sin valoraciones o calificaciones escolares. Esta demanda tiene como objetivo responsabilizar al comisionado Morath y a TEA. Comisionario Morath, sea el estándar de excelencia. Millones de niños de Texas, nuestros padres, educadores y comunidades lo merecen. Gracias y esperamos conversaciones más constructivas. Gracias.
Thank you very much for coming to this very, very important event. Like I said, it is not over yet. We haven't done a victory lap, but we are here to celebrate the fact that we are creating an awareness about a system that we believe needs an overhaul. Thank you.
Will Dupree back in the KXAN Live studio as we brought you that news conference from a number of school superintendents from across Texas who filed a lawsuit against the Texas Education Commissioner. They asked a Travis County judge to block the state from releasing new A through F school ratings based on some new calculations. And the judge sided with them in that argument, at least temporarily. And we are hearing from them now this morning. They are, of course, appreciative of the judge's decision and say that this is, of course, not the end, not the last stop on this particular road, but we're hearing from the Texas Education Agency as well. And I'll read that statement in part. You can check it out in full on our website at kxan.com. But the Texas Education Agency wrote last night, quote, "This ruling completely disregards the laws of the state and for the foreseeable future prevents any A through F performance information from being issued to help millions of parents and educators improve the lives of our students." Again, this is just a part of the reaction shared from the TEA. You can read that full statement on our website at kxan.com and the KXAN News mobile app. Once again, I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN Live studio. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your Friday. Take care and have a great weekend too.